because you now kind of don't really want to go for Nidalee. You don't really want to go for something like the Graves as well, because Olaf can do so much work against you in the early stages of the game, but could potentially still see something like the Nidalee come through for Xun if they want to go towards a Renekton, or not Renekton, sorry, if they want to go towards a more single-handed duelist style champion in the top lane that can set up for these early plays towards that top side.
So for IG here, maybe thinking about something like a support. Could go with the Leona alongside. Oh! We get to see the Kindred coming out here for Xun. Interesting one that we get to see this. Bo played Kindred against Xun last year in the LDL and managed to dominate him twice in that series. Now Xun's bringing it out. This isn't exactly meta either.
Yeah, it's kind of because they're scraping the bottom of the barrel here. You don't want to go towards the Graves. He gets punished really hard by the Olaf. So they're going towards the Kindred in the hope that, hey, we can maybe kite out the Olaf, we can survive and get down this big old invulnerability spot where we can just look to play around. But I'm not convinced that they're going to have much of an answer in the early game, because one of the big problems for Kindred in against Olaf is just the clear speed. Olaf trounces you in that respect and can have much bigger impact in these early lane phases. And when we're talking about how important it is in setting Doinb ahead, setting Nuguri ahead in these solo lanes, that's where Bo can lend his pressure and make sure that FPX are being set up for success.
So second ban phase here, Aatrox taken off the board by FPX, and it's Twisted Fate to answer, removing that roam potential from Doinb. There are still a lot of picks that he can go towards that are these roaming mid lanes, things like the Galio, even stuff like the Rumble would be available for him. We'll see where IG go with this next ban. It's going to be that Victor that we've seen quite a bit from Doinb this year.
Honestly, I'd love to see something like the Orianna for Doinb. I think you've got nice engage set up when it looks towards the Rell. You can provide the speed up for the Viking and also a bit of protection for him. And we're not even talking about Nuguri potentially going towards some sort of team fighting style as well. But looks like they're, well, yeah, they're actually going to ban that away.
Well, you've got the Rumble, you've also got the Rise available, so still a couple of comfort picks available for Doinb. On the side of IG, though, I would love to see this. Rookie Zoe is an absolute treat to watch. He is unbelievable on this pick. Just wait to have your mind blown in this mid game.
He's going to end up against something that ain't going to give him a huge amount of space, though. Either Set or Rumble, I imagine, are going to come out here where you just shove in all day, you nullify a lot of the advantages that this Zoe can get in the early stages, and then look to unlock the map by having Doinb roam out. And when we already saw a lot of attention put towards this top side, I think we get the same again, depending on what Nuguri picks up here. Or they can just play around Crisp on this Rell in the bot lane. Crisp's Rell was so strong at setting up these engages last time. Let's just do it again.
It's going to be that Gragas for Nuguri once more. We have a very similar composition. It's just going to be the Rumble instead of the Twisted Fate here for FPX now. Side of IG, they've got to finish this composition out. Looking for a top laner to go up against this Gragas.
Okay, so TheShy is going to take the Sion. This is not a matchup that I've seen very much of, but certainly, at least from what I've seen, Gragas does reasonably well against the Sion, because you can just body slam whenever you try to go for the decimating smash, and it means you can trade reasonably effectively with the Q. But I imagine TheShy is just looking to farm it up and become this big frontliner that can cause issues for FPX's more mid-game focused composition.
Well, the infinite scaling tank for the top side of the map, and they certainly have engage on the side of IG. They certainly have frontline, that is for sure. I'm curious about how these mid laners can get onto the map, but most importantly, I'm curious about that jungle matchup, because we've got Olaf against Kindred, and I think that is really where you have to look. Bo took over the game in game number 1 with this Olaf pick. Can Kindred be the answer for Xun? It's not something he's played this split. It's not something that's particularly popular in the current meta, but with the bans that came on through, this is feeling like his fallback.
And I'm not the biggest fan of it. As you said, the reason it's not in the meta is because it just can't keep up with the clears of Lilia's, Nidalee's, Talia's, everything else that's currently just rampaging through the jungles. So again, expect Bo to get out on the map first. Expect him to be looking towards these solo lanes and trying to get FPX ahead in game number 2.
Well, we're going to head towards Summoner's Rift here. And just to remind you guys, we have 7 players that are world champions in this lobby. We've got 2 rookies coming in both of the jungle. Well, technically 3 rookies if you include Rookie. And then we've got Wink as well. This is a top quality matchup between top quality players. And the last time these 2 teams faced was in the regional qualifiers to make it to the 2020 World Championship. IG knocked FPX out after a 5-game brawl. They denied FPX a back-to-back attempt at the World Championship. And now IG, they're being punished for that after game number 1. Dagda, let's talk through this early game. What are you expecting to see from Bo and Shun here? Because it feels like they're the focus of this series.
They definitely are, especially in this game. You're looking at Bo, who's actually going to be starting up on this top side. I wasn't sure if we'd see him go bot and try and play up towards Nuguri in the early game, but with no vision on IG as to where Bo is starting, he's pretty much got free reign as to what he wants to do. So IG have to be on full alert in pretty much all lanes right now, so they're not getting that kind of 4-camp clear from Bo in towards a gank.
A lot of trading at level 1 in this bottom side. Baolan going very aggressive to try and finish the ward. Did manage to get it in the end. Bo gonna double camp at level 1. That got real dicey for a second there. Still had his smite available, so he's fine. He is Olaf, so look at the attack speed that he gets from being low health.
The biggest thing for Bo right now is, look, we already talked about it. He's going to clear real quick, especially if you're doubling up on these camps like that. It's going to be fantastic. I want to see if Bo can actually double scuttle here. Because if you're playing down towards this bottom side, you should be able to get the scuttle there. And if you can get this bounce back on Doinb's mid wave, you can potentially use the push power of Nuguri in this top side to go for this double scuttle on the top. And if that's the case, Shun now delayed on towards picking up his first marks. He's going to be set behind. You can contest him the second mark on that scuttle as well. It becomes very difficult for Shun to actually get the ball rolling in this game.
We're looking at the runes here for TheShy. He has gone for the Grasp of the Undying, wants to be that tank in the later stages. Going to be expecting him to trade fairly readily up in the top side of the map and looking to get towards the late stage Sion ASAP. Don't anticipate much lethality on this Sion. We're not going to be looking for that split push lethality Sion that you sometimes see in your solo queue in your Earth games. This will be full tank, you'd expect.
And it is going to be a slow game to let that full tankiness take effect, at least from the IG side of things. Like, you've got a losing matchup in the jungle. You're not really going to be able to do too much with Rookie in the mid lane either. So unless you make plays bot...
All in from Baolan, but the root doesn't quite connect as Bo comes in. Flash already used by the cow. Doesn't have his ultimate, and they're even committing a teleport as well. The slow is there. The Flame Spitter burns down the first kill as Bo grabs himself some credit. 3v4. Bo behind the alcove here. Flash away. The sleep is there, though, and it's finished off by Rookie. First kill of the game for him. As Shun will go down. Bo already with a second. This is getting dangerous for IG. Wink stunned up. Tries to get out. Rookie in the middle of everyone, but he can't quite finish the kills. Double kill for Rookie now, who wants to take over this game and this series. Rookie flashes forward. Ignite onto Doinb. Trouble bubble. Flashed away from, but it's Wink to grab another kill.
That is... not what I expected at all from the very get-go in this game. I thought we'd maybe get IG taking a little bit slower, not trying to go that aggressive. But with Baolan getting caught out after going for the headbutt pulverize, they need to act, and IG are the ones who come out on top.
Beautifully done here by IG. They answer the roam, they answer the TP, they answer the play, and it means that Shun gets to go for this early scuttle crab that we were talking about before. Bo has to settle for just one.
But that's the thing, it's the one that has the mark as well. So Shun already got a pickaxe. Now he's got his first mark. This is making things a hell of a lot easier for this IG jungler, although Crisp, working with Bo here, might try and get on towards Shun, but certainly would get this camp stolen away.
Yeah, Shun not looking to actually fight the Olaf at this point in the game, just looking for whatever camps he can get. FPX don't want him to get any camps. Not opting to hit the Scryer's Bloom, though. because right now, IG don't know this is happening. Shun's in trouble. The knockup comes on through. No flash available. And with that CC chain, surely Bo grabs himself already a hat trick in game number 2.
Where you going, TheShy? Where you gonna go? There's 4 members from FPX up here, and they are liking the smell of barbecue.
They certainly are. Rookie waiting in the wings. He wants to try and help TheShy out, but there's just no way you can make a play there. There's no way you can move up. I don't think they can actually commit to a dive. It is the Sion at the end of the day, so they decide to back away, and TheShy will he'll chill there. He'll stay safe for now. But once again, look at Bo's scoreline. We saw this in game number 1. We're seeing it in game number 2. You officially have to ban Olaf against Bo.
Here's the thing, though. This is actually more of a hindrance this time around. Because look at what the... Ooh. Okay, nice timing from TheShy.
That was gorgeous, actually. And means he gets to stay in this lane. Apparently, he has no fear of Gragas whatsoever. This will be Drake for Shun.
The thing that I want to bring up, though, is that, again, talking about Bo, I'm not going to get a chance because we're still fighting much.
Speaking about Bo, he's in a 2v1 and he seems pretty happy about it. Although Rookie's coming in to ruin that. Iron Spike Weep keeps him alive as he melts through the chickens. Ignite's not enough. Bo survives for now.
So you can see there, though, the Bo...
What is happening on the top side of the map right now? Nuguri and TheShy, both with no mana and no health, just brawling with each other. This series is everything I wanted it to be.
I love the way it's taken, like, everything out of TheShy and Nuguri. And they're just, like, slapping each other with open hands, just like, get out of here, get out of my lane. I don't have anything that can actually be meaningful, but TheShy now will TP back into lane. A little bit more mana, a little bit more health, and we'll pick up this wave. But the big thing I want to start to look at is what Bo can do in these later games, because our later game fights. He's 3 kills. He needs to try and get into the back line, but you've got Shun to protect that back line. You've got Wink, who's going to be a lot more difficult to deal with. And with TheShy being able to zone away a lot of FPX, I don't think Bo can have as big as impact as he did in the last game this time around. So FPX need to be sharing the love and getting those kills elsewhere when we hit this mid game. Otherwise, IG can just weather the storm and get to the late game where they're strong.
One small thing I will say, though, about Bo having a bunch of kills early on is we have a nice little pulverize from Baolan to deny the engage from FPX. If there's one thing that Zoe struggles, it's against an Olaf that's fed, and TheShy getting flashed upon by Nuguri here. This is an easy kill for the side of FPX. TheShy's going to try and chase him down, but slowed by the undertow. There's nothing TheShy can do about this one. Nuguri just bops him with the belly as he's going to shove this wave under and deny TheShy a whole bunch of CS.
So I'm going to put the caveat on this that if Bo has like 3 kills, I was like, this is going to struggle. If Bo has like 16 like he did in the last game, kind of changes the whole perception of things, but certainly the ability to play around like the invulnerability from the Kindred is going to make it kind of tough. However, you still have to be careful of like the invulnerability into the Gore Drinker from Olaf to just bring back all those stats. So still, we'll have a lot of back and forth between the two, but bot side.
Knockups from the Crisp here, and it's going to be Baolan taking a lot of damage. Not level 6 yet, has to headbutt back into the play. The Featherstorm aggressively forces the flash out from the IG support. Neither plasma stacks proc there, so Wink can't get a kill.
So bringing it back to where we need to be looking for the next few minutes, because we've just seen Rift Herald picked up by Bo for FPX. He's going to try and put this in towards the mid lane, unlock Doinb once again, and try and make sure that they're continuing this snowball and this pressure, because they want to be hitting this ground running when we get to the 15 to 20 minute mark with those first mythic items picked up.
The wet noodle fight on the top side, it's just infinitely continuing. And Bo wants to capitalize on that fact. So does Doinb. He wants a little bit more of the action. He's 0-0-3 right now, and he'd love to find himself a kill. Equalizer available. TheShy has to flash. Does move away from that equalizer in the end. But now on towards the tower they go. They've got demolished. They've got a Rift Herald. This should be first tower of the game.
Yeah, I mean, if you're just going to be able to get this first tower, you might as well pick it up with that Rift Herald. Thing again, though, is now it's about moving Nuguri around the map, making sure he's not caught out. But Shun
Shun's gone way too deep, trying to get himself some croaks. And now he's in a 1 versus 2. The rest of the squad on their way. Blade Caller might be enough, but Lwx actually in trouble. He's getting out AD carried by the jungler. And Shun manages to survive the Blade Caller. Rookie doesn't quite have the damage. The Corrupting Potion doesn't tick down enough. And the sleep blocked by Crisp. Rookie can't quite finish the kill, but hey, IG get to move on to this bot side tower.
And they might be able to trade it, although that wave isn't there anymore, and FPX have rallied around that, so we'll be able to defend this bottom lane turret. But, Baolan?
Yeah, Baolan needs to be a little cautious. Drake's coming up in 40 seconds, though, Dagda. We've seen pure aggression on both sides. The goal difference is minimal. Bo wants the Gromp, or he'll happily settle for a Kindred instead. The stuns come on through. The damage is there. There is no flash. There is no Lamb's Respite. Bo gets yet another kill. I don't know why he hit Ragnarok there. That was not necessary. But who cares? They got the kill.
God, Shun is not having a good series. Trying to get that camp to finish off his Noon Quiver before this next dragon starts. But that is a massive mistake. Now you've just given full control of this map back to FPX. They can take the dragon, and they're getting plates on Doom.
Wink wants a 1v1 with Doinb, and that's a 1v1 that a Kaisa can win. But Doinb slides away with his life. Wink can't quite finish the kill. That's a heartbreaker.
It means FPX can't go towards the dragon though either, because hey, you've just lost your mid laner now. Doinb can't TP back in. There are members of FPX on this bottom side, but IG have pieced out. They're looking to get Scuttle.
Nuguri, can he survive the 1v2? Well, they don't even commit to the 1v2 because there's a fight in the bot side instead. TP from Doinb. Now towards the Drake they run because they know Shun is on the top side of the map right now. Doinb just going to pop the blast cone, make sure the Bo has free access into the pit. And this will tie us up 1 apiece on the dragons.
The good news, at least for IG in this respect, is that because they picked up that first dragon, it's going to be 25 minutes plus before we really see these dragons become an issue that they have to deal with on FPX's side. Plus, bot lane dive?
Featherstorm comes on out, Blade Caller available here, but the knockups are enough for Baolan, and Wink is just run down. Bo can do whatever he wants. And you know what? Crisp dies for the dive, but that is so unbelievably worth it for FPX because now they can get onto the tower as well.
And the kill went to Baolan, right? It's not even like it's going over in favor of Wink, so Wink still left in the cold, still losing out on this bottom side. And now you've got Nuguri winning in this matchup in the top lane. But Baolan and Wink aren't winning anymore on the bottom side of the map either, and Doinb is roaming everywhere, picking up these turret plates. So even though he's got the little bit of an XP disadvantage behind it a little bit when it comes to that CS, the grand scheme of things, that doesn't really matter. The mid game is starting to shine through for FPX.
2,000 gold for FPX as we have yet another wet noodle fight going on here. Nuguri has some reinforcements in Crisp. TheShy is going to be alone here, denied his devastation and taken to the death realm. Zombie mode wants a bit of a brawl, but I don't think he's going to be allowed it. Rookie comes in though, Trouble Bubble doesn't connect, and Nuguri walks away.
And Crisp has been so good in this series. Again, just roaming everywhere early on this Rell, getting up towards that top side. Another kill now for Nuguri. And this is running out of control for IG. They need to wait until this late game comes online to try and fight back, but they're not being given the time to do so. Shun, massively far behind, still hasn't completed this Noon Quiver on this Kindred pick. Yes, you've got the Gale Force completed for Wink, but how do you try and get in towards the back line when you've got your tank, TheShy, pretty far behind in comparison to his counterpart? You don't really have Rookie who's in a position to 1v9 this game either.
3 minutes until this next Drake, but FPX want control of the bot side river right now because might be trying to set up a play on towards the bot tower, or in fact just go for a blue buff instead. Scuttlecrab has spawned as well. They just want to deny absolutely everything they can from IG. They should be able to grab this. The paddle start just a little bit too late from Rookie, and that denies Rookie that blue buff. You can see he has absolutely no mana, does not have a teleport to work with right now, so just has to deal with this minion wave and hope to recall.
Yeah, you're right though, Munch. That blue buff is just a casualty of this bot lane play. All they want to do is get down here, control this jungle, get the vision to allow them to secure that second tower of the game. And now only that mid lane turret is left standing for FPX. And as for IG and his FPX, you can start to group and move around that. Nuguri can shove in top. That wave is already being shoved in bot, and you can have them group and force away IG from this mid lane turret.
So I want to ask you, Dagda, because it feels like we're not going to have much action, I say tentatively.
It's Rift Herald. We're going to have Rift Herald.
Oh, Rift Herald's up. Never mind.
Yeah.
All right, so what do IG do? How do IG get themselves back in the game? Give some hope to IG fans at home.
They gotta give this up. But this is the problem, though. Like, you're pretty much going to give up this Rift Herald, which in turn means your mid tower. Probably need to give up 2, maybe even 3 of these outer turrets, but hold on as long as you can. Just try and gain as much time to farm up, get to 2 to 3 items across the board. I mean, even a first item for Shun would be a miracle at this stage, because you are so far behind, and FPX are just making sure they are accelerating this game beyond all control.
All right, so IG need to buy time. As you were speaking there, Shun has finished his first item, so now has a Kraken Slayer to work with. So at least he will exist a little more in this game. But as you rightly said, the Herald immediately dropped in that mid lane, and FPX, if I know anything about this team, they're not just going to settle for 1 tower here. If at all they can help it, Nuguri is off to the side. He wants to make this flanking play. Onto Baolan he goes as he's spotted out. Herald charges in the mid lane, Lwx onto the tower. They should be able to finish the tier 2, and they want a little bit more. The stuns come on through. There is no respite for the Lamb as he falls in the mid lane, and FPX, they get 2 towers, they get a kill. Crisp walks away with his life, and now Nuguri looking for an explosive cast. Equalizer across the team, but it knocks Rookie to safety, and FPX just have to disengage and move towards this Drake.
This could actually be the moment for IG. You've already gotten pretty much all of those big ultimates out from the side of FPX, and with Dragon in 15 seconds, they...
I think I've lost Dagda here for a second. Not exactly sure where he has gone, but I'm just going to continue as if it's all still going on. Bo taking a lot of damage, but he is playing Olaf, so I'm not going to be too worried about his health bar right now. TheShy tanking up everybody. Featherstorm through the team. Blade Caller doesn't quite find the route. Now they're onto TheShy as they're trying to escape from this one. Lamb's respite on the backline from Shun. They're moving on forwards into the fray. TheShy trying to tank up, but he's the first casualty of the fray. Shun still alive. Baolan trying to escape as well. Rookie getting onto the backline, gets to sleep, but he can't follow it up. And IG jumping through this squad. Doinb slaughtered in the backline. Rookie taking names as he cuts through this team from FPX. The burn isn't enough for Nuguri, but it's enough to get them a dragon.
And that's what I said, but I was cut off. The mic had disconnected. That was the fight for IG. They had used all those key ultimates on FPX's side, and IG were looking to use that advantage to pick up this dragon. They have bought gold, they have bought time, and this was exactly what IG needed to come back into this game.
Dagda has the lungs of a giant because he is blasting us right now. I'll let him fix that for a second, but let's take it. Tech issues are just part and parcel of the LPL, I'm afraid. Let's take another look at this, because this was beautiful from Rookie.
It was so well done, but again, what are the ultimates available? No cast, no ultimate from Rell, no equalizer. This means that IG are able to slowly pick and choose the fights that they want to take and whittle down FPX, especially when Crisp wasn't there at the start of the fight. This was the play, but bottom left corner, we might be fighting over some Raptors.
We're always fighting over everything in this series. Shun finishing the kill on Doinb as Nuguri just about got away with his life. But I said in Champ Select, I'm excited for Rookie's Zoe. And here it is, firing on all cylinders, 3, 0, and 2. And I want to see more. I want to see him popping off in these fights. I want to see him take us to 3 games, because FPX are still well and truly in the lead with a 2,000 gold lead. But that extra Drake buys so much time for IG.
Yeah, and this is going to be impeccable for IG. This is what they needed. Look at the items that are starting to come through. Zoe is going towards that Horizon focus. She's going to be incredibly strong and pretty high one-shot potential on many of these squishy members. And as a team, as FPX, where you need to engage and you need to close the distance with the short-range composition, having this poke from Rookie could be key. So keep your eyes on Rookie. If he can land key poke before a lot of these fights, that could be the go button for IG.
I want to check on Shun's stacks as well on this Kindred once the camera does pan over towards him, because we saw a couple of stacks being picked up earlier on. Off the back of that fight, he may well be on towards that 4-stack mark, which is really when Kindred starts to come alive as a champion. We already mentioned that the Kraken Slayer had come through. Boots are there, as well as a serrated Dirk. We are starting to see this squad from IG feeling a little bit more like they can fight, like they can battle with the FPX players right here. Bit of a trade once again between TheShy and Nuguri. But I want to revisit something we talked about before, because Baron is now on the map, and you can see pings galore from both sides. Now that IG have a fight under their belt, now that they've got an extra dragon under their belt, does that win condition change for them?
No, you still want to wait. As IG, like right now, I'd be investing all of my vision in towards this top side, making sure FPX can sneak away the Baron. I don't care if a second, third dragon goes over towards FPX. I've now delayed this Dragon Soul until 30 minutes plus, which means I'm going to have 3 items on my Kaisa. I'm going to have TheShy, who's actually hit full beefiness in this top lane, and Shun as well can catch up to what has been a game that's run pretty quickly away from him.
This is kind of unbelievable, honestly, that IG have managed to fight their way back into this game, and it was such an insanely close team fight as well. But this is exactly what we were talking about. The caliber of players across these two squads, you can never count either of these teams out. The gold lead, just under 3,000 in favor of FPX, but IG certainly not out of the running in this one. Bo moving into the pit and clearing away what vision he can. Shun tries to contest. It's just going to be a little tap onto Bo from the Baron itself.
But this is the thing. When you're playing with the top teams in the LPL, it's tiny inches that separate these two. It was the ultimates in that last fight that IG correctly identified, saying, we can take this fight as long as this is down. And now, again, IG, they're starting to stand up taller. They're starting to get their confidence back. Now, they do not want to start up this Baron, but as we said, they definitely want to keep control of this area and deny FPX that game-winning condition that Baron would give over to them.
That trouble bubble was real close to Doinb there. That would not be a death that you could afford as FPX. And it feels like, off the back of this fight, we're suddenly seeing a totally different tune from FPX. What we've seen all day so far is them playing as fast as possible, just brute forcing everything that they can, taking every little inch away from IG. But now with 30 seconds until this strike spawns, feels like FPX very much have slowed down the pace.
And they've been forced to. I mean, there's no objective on the map that they can really look to play around. Because you're trying to connect onto these tier 2 towers, you need the waves in your favor, but you can't really do that when IG have gotten full vision control.
And now Crisp has been caught out as well. Gets a shield and gets himself out of the fight as flash forward from Bo. He has absolutely no fear. FPX charging forwards. TheShy is alive, but he's alone. Rookie off towards the side. Wants to clear up some of these health bars, but there's just no way past Nuguri. He's too big and too damn beefy. Rookie wants to get into the fray. He wants to clean things up, but it just isn't happening. And it looks like FPX, they could move towards the Baron here. It's dicey. Health bars are low, and Rookie, if any player can stop this, it's him.
It was looking so good, but then IG got bored. They decided to take the fight. Now it's on Rookie Paddle Stars to turn this around.
Nuguri takes one Paddle Star. He's down to half HP as Rookie really wants to make this work. Doesn't have a massive amount of mana. Nuguri doesn't quite get the knock-up for himself. Sleepy Trouble Bubble could mean a kill for Rookie. Nuguri still so surviving for now. Look at their health bars on FPX. Can he do it? One Paddle Star could be a quadra kill right here. Jumps into the pit. Can't get the steal. Can't get anything. The Trouble Bubble does land onto Bo, but I don't think he's in range to finish the kill. Zonya's over the wall. Rookie walks away empty-handed, and FPX get the Baron.
And it's daylight robbery. They were so low. They just needed 1 or 2 of those Paddle Stars to connect, but it split the uprights every time. And now FPX, they're returning to the map. They want to stop this dragon. They want to stop the delay from coming in on IG's side.
And suddenly, this win condition in the stacking dragons that we said Olaf should be the one getting, it's going the way of IG. They're now on 3 Drakes, and that Mountain Soul would certainly do wonders to reduce the amount of burst damage that we're seeing coming through from this FPX squad. In the meantime, though, FPX positioning towards the top side of the map.
IG need to slow. They need to buy time. This is what we've been saying. They need to find a way to defend against this Baron, but FPX, they are so damn good at closing out games with this objective. You can see them now getting the waves in their favor, starting to group up around this top side to take down one more of those outer turrets as Crisp getting onto Rookie.
Equalizer coming out from Doinb just to shove the wave out here as TheShy knocked back, but I mean, he's playing Sion, so I think he's quite okay with taking a bit of damage. Knocked back from the explosive cast. But this is exactly what IG wants. You're hitting everything onto TheShy. Sure, we'll take that any day of the week.
Exactly. However, they do lose that top lane turret. Like, that's gone now. There's no more. We need to now look towards this bottom side of the map as FPX, and the beauty is if you're putting all this pressure on to the bot side of the map for FPX, you can get this deep vision control, look towards that dragon in 4 minutes and deny that from IG as well. But unfortunately, that last team fight was not what IG wanted to take. They thought they could make that pick happen. They thought they'd be able to just get this tempo fully back in their favor, but with that the teleports, with the turnaround from FPX and that Baron now going their way, this is again IG with their backs against the wall.
Crisp is trying to set up for the next siege, but he is alone right now as IG move into their jungle once more and reclaim it as their own. But FPX and specifically Bo might have something to say about that as they start to move towards this bottom side of the map. You said this is the tower they've got to look for. They've got 30 seconds on the Baron buff to make this happen. IG trying to clear the wave here. Lwx should be able to step forward though, get some good hits in. I think this tier 2 should be forfeit. They go for the dive. They don't want the tower. They want the fight, and immediately Rookie is removed. Baolan will fall as well. And that might just be it. TheShy trying to charge in, trying to do damage and turn this one around, but there's just nothing in the tank for IG. Once Rookie has fallen, it doesn't feel like anyone else can carry on this squad right now. Lwx trying to chase down onto Wink. Nuguri is here. Flash not available, but the slow comes down. The root isn't quite there. One more auto would do the trick. They're chasing for Wink, and Lwx finds his counterpart. This will be the bot lane tower, and FPX, they might just be able to end the game.
And it felt like that heal is exactly what FPX have done over this split. They have healed, they have grown with Nuguri, and the Phoenix will rise once again.
And Nuguri keeping himself strong. Baolan goes down, and FPX get themselves some fresh revenge for regional finals. A 2-0 dominant series over IG.
Amazing play from FPX. Bo, every time in this series, is getting off to exponential leads that continue to grow and grow in favor of FPX. Now, one team fight was not enough for IG to come back, as FPX will take home the 2-0 victory.
This was beautiful to see from FPX, and this identity of this fast-paced gameplay really feels like this is FPX's style for the year. This is what they've come home to now. This is the way that they want to play the game, and it looks and feels so damn good for them. IG took it to them in a few of these fights, and this second game certainly looked a lot closer than the first. But again, at the end of the day, it was FPX that were finding the early advantages, and this Olaf for Bo, I don't think any team should go against FPX for the rest of this split and not ban Olaf. I don't think you're allowed to do that.
No, and especially when you are going to leave that jungle pick to the second rotation, you're already got like Nidalee off the board. You had Olaf that was taken away. You can't really pick the Graves into that. Lily isn't that strong either. So they go back towards this Kindred, where we're seeing the same problem every time this Kindred comes out. It just can't keep up with the clear speed. You end up falling behind in tempo. Laners are much better at playing around these advantages, and Bo gets off to a flying start on the Olaf and takes over from there. And for FPX, that's where they're comfortable. Early game leads into mid game monstrous gold leads, and then turning that into a clean victory.
Yeah, really. I think clean is the best word for this that we've seen from FPX, because even in like I feel like I'm maybe insulting the LPL there, that this is our version of a clean win here, but but the way that they enact their game style, right? The way that we know that they want to play fast, they want to play through tempo, they want to read this win condition. They did that perfectly. They played towards that win condition, and they played with confidence. Like, when you're against players like Rookie, and Rookie was playing well this game, it takes a confident team to be able to say, we're going to bring it to you, IG. We know you can't fight us right now, but we know you might be overconfident and fight us anyway. And IG did.
I think it's a strange one for me from IG's perspective, when just with this up on the screen, the counter pick that they did for themselves, essentially. Because when I looked towards the top lane for TheShy, like, Nuguri was all over that matchup. And even when I saw it, I thought, this is a Gragas favored matchup. This is something where it's really difficult for you to try and trade effectively into. So now you've got a strong top side for Nuguri. Doinb got the counter pick in that mid lane. And, I mean, Lwx and Crisp in this bottom lane, it's been basically, I mean, AD carry versus AD carry, because Crisp pieces out from 3 minutes into the game. So, honestly, I was really confused by the draft from IG, and FPX did a very good job of playing through the jungle counter, the top lane counter, the mid counter, and just taking all these early gold leads and running away with this game. So, again, curious from IG, but a great call from FPX, and we can see the advantages that they can play through in the team fights when they get them.
Yeah, honestly, these team fights are so beautiful to watch. We've had some absolutely insane team fights today. It's been an absolute pleasure to be able to commentate, because they were so chaotic, they were so spread out, and multiple times today we had fights where so many players on FPX were surviving on 100, 200 HP each, and there was just not quite enough damage from IG to finish them. Had any of those health bars been depleted throughout some of those skirmishes, maybe it's a totally different series, but, you know, it went the way that it went, and FPX managed to come out ahead at the end of the day. The one around Baron, I think, was the one that was most heartbreaking for IG fans, where you've got Rookie there, 1 versus 4, health bars all exceptionally low in the pit, and you can genuinely believe that Rookie will pull off the play there, but it just wasn't meant to be.
I feel like we had 2 big turning points in this game. The first was the dragon fight, where we talked about the actually it was about 18 minutes in, where IG were trying to fight against FPX when all the FPX ultimates were just down, as they just cleared out a lot of that mid lane. That's where IG had won the game. IG had come back. They could have slowed down the pace of the game, scaled to where Shun was back to being relevant. But instead, the second turning point was that mid lane fight. Just before Rookie made that play, well, tried to make the play over at Baron, where they ended up giving all this control back over to FPX. They did not need to fight there. All they had to do was go, clear waves, get this goal back in their favor. But by doing IG the regular thing of overextending, getting bored, just going for these fights, means that they end up tossing away that lead they'd gained for themselves and giving full control back to FPX, giving that Baron and letting FPX close out that game from there.
And what this means as well in terms of the standings is that now IG very much sat in the middle of the table. They are going to be, I believe, 3-3 now on the standings. So just smack bang in the middle. They'll be 7-6 in game difference right now. Whereas FPX, they're 5-1 now, and that's another clean 2-0 from them. They are, in fact, FPX are having clean games pretty much across the board at this point, but they're feeling really, really good. They're feeling fantastic, moving up the standings into that third place that you're pointing out there. Honestly, Dagda, FPX are feeling like one of my favorites for the whole tournament at this point. There's them, there's EDG, RNG as well. These 3 organizations, I think, are clear forerunners at this stage.
You're not going to mention WE, no? No? After yesterday,
WE just got absolutely smacked. Look, I love WE, but if you watch the games yesterday, WE don't get to be in that conversation until they prove themselves against one of these top teams.
Fair. But I do agree with your original point, which is FPX are looking really, really good. And I'll be the first to say I doubted them when I saw that Nuguri was coming into this roster. I thought, man, we're just going to have the same issues that we saw with Khan. Not really being able to play around top side. Nuguri's going to be left out to dry, and he'll go back to Korea probably next year. But honestly, Nuguri has been exceptional in this top lane. He's been absorbing a huge amount of pressure. He's been able to get these leads by himself. But when we get to those team fights, then it's been amazing to see the pressure he's able to create, finding the right flanks, setting up these team fights so well. And him and Crisp have been the big standout performers for me, and especially when we get towards these team fights, making things happen for FPX.
Well, you mentioned Crisp there being one of the standout performers. He's going to be MVP coming out from game number 2, and I think deservedly so. You mentioned it while you were analyzing the game there, that beyond the 3rd minute, he basically is just out on the map making plays happen. He was always wherever he needed to be. And we said coming into this season that Lwx and Crisp needed to be players that stepped up, and my God, have they. Crisp especially looking so fantastic in this meta.
And working so well with Bo, right? We are talking from literally the last game into this game. This early jungle support duo is invading, they're pushing leads, and this is exactly what you want to do. And almost every single time, this Rell and Olaf giving the CC towards the Olaf, giving the resistances towards the Olaf. Like, it's so nice to see them working in conjunction. But again, it's Crisp kind of coming back to his old ways, where he was one of the top supports in the LPL. And we're seeing why on these engaged supports, where he's able to facilitate his team and set them as a whole up for success.
I mean, that last dive is just pure confidence from the side of Crisp, and I think he did go down in this play. But you know what? He's going to get open all chat, and he's going to type worth on that one, because that was the play that won FPX the game and the series. Unbelievable win here, and I have to say, I'm so excited for what is ahead for this team. We're going to head to the stage, though, because speaking of our MVP, we're going to have an interview with Crisp, a deserved winners interview.